COVID-19 has changed the world. I'm interviewing extraordinary people on the front line, stepping up with amazing acts of kindness in the fight against this virus. Tune in to watch, support and share their inspiring stories, because together we are stronger.
Bernadette, thank you so much for being a guest on my show today. It's lovely to have you here. And Bernadette, tell me what you're doing at the moment in this current situation, COVID-19. I know you do a lot of volunteer work, but what is your current mission that you're on at the moment?
So I normally do quite a lot of volunteer work. I work as an IT consultant in my normal world. Especially at this time, there is such a great need for people that need help. And people need to understand that there's just so many people in many different aspects of life. So we're talking about the homeless, which is quite a cause which is close to my heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
The elderly in care homes also. Children. I mean, it's quite scary when you look at some of the charities which are getting responses from the general public. Even today, I heard, which was most upsetting, you have children phoning in under the age of 11 and they are worried about their family members.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is.
Yes, I heard that on Radio Jackie this morning, and that's really upsetting. So what I have done, I've set up a GoFundMe page. The idea is to support small initiatives. And the reason for this is so we know where the money goes.
Yes.
So already we are looking, well, in total, I'm probably looking to support about 10 small initiatives. We're supporting about 5 or 6 at the moment, so I can run you through what we're doing.
Yeah, I was about to say, can you talk me through the 5 or 6 that you're currently supporting? And then we'll put the links as well at the bottom.
That's great. Thank you, Sonya. So the first one is for a food bank.
Yeah.
So we've already done a shop of £550 worth of stuff. That included long life goods like milk, tinned food, and also essentials, nappies, Sudor cream, shave foam, shaving gel, all those types of basic necessities, all the things that we can take for granted sometimes. So that was for All Souls Food Bank. So we put together 30 food parcels, but we're also taking it that step further. So I call this a mini project. So as well as providing goods for the food bank, my question is, do people know that there is a food bank there where they can get help? So we're also publicising it for them.
So how do people get access to the food? You've got this food. How do they then get access to the food?
So I have been contacting, so where I live, there's an app on Facebook. It's called My Richmond app. They're going to do a lovely article on us tomorrow morning.
Are you in Richmond?
I am.
So am I.
Oh, really? Oh, we must.
In normal circumstances, we'd be doing this live.
Right, okay. So look out tomorrow morning between 9 and 10 a.m. because they're going to write or publish a lovely article on us. I've already seen it, talking about the work that we're doing. But one of the key things I wanted to get in there also was, if you need help, where do you go?
Yeah. So
there's a link, there's a contact number, there's an email address. So it's about what we're doing as let's say we're not a charity, but we're running like a small charity at the moment, but it's connecting the dots. Yeah. So we're providing the goods. We want to make sure that they get out. On top of that, I have a wonderful community around me. Some of my neighbours I met on VE Day. We went out at 6 p.m. at a safe distance having a drink.
Yeah.
They were interested to know who I was because we're all on WhatsApp groups.
Yeah.
Because of the situation. And this is something I definitely don't want to change. This is something I haven't had before. So I actually feel much more part of my community.
Complete. Lovely. And I'm hearing that from a lot of people, this sense of community that's coming.
Because we're also busy all the time. But also my neighbours are actually driving and dropping off food parcels. So it's not just a case we've done the shopping, we've delivered it. We're also thinking, how do we make sure the message gets out? And then if some of the people that do actually need the food can't get to the food bank, well, how do they get it? So we'll actually deliver it to them.
Oh wow, that's
But
fantastic.
all at a safe distance.
Yeah, of course.
So that's one mini project.
And if someone wants to donate food, they drop it off to this place.
They can also donate directly.
Okay.
So it's completely up to people how they wish to do it. Then we have another mini project with Kingston Church's Action on Homelessness. This is quite random. So there's another volunteer I know through Crisis.
Yes.
That's for the homeless, and we volunteer there. She had seen a post on Facebook with one of the guests that we know. He's been housed by them. He's been supplied with a iPad, which has given him connection to the outside world, and he was really grateful. I saw that post and I immediately picked up the phone to the charity and said, I know this, told them the story. I'd like to give you some of our funds. What do you need? So we also did a shopping list for them. So we bought them £300 worth of snacks. So pot noodle, cereal bars, that type of thing. We delivered that last week, as well as some hotel toiletries. If people are collecting hotel toiletries, just remember there's charities that will take this.
And there is still a lot of homeless on the street, you know, even though the government have housed a lot in the hotels. There's
most definitely.
And there's more coming on because of the job situation, of course.
Well, interestingly, there was an article because I listen to Radio Jackie every day. That's my good source of information, and they actually had an interview with one of the guys who was actually housed by this charity. And I heard this on the radio last week, and it was so lovely for me to hear because I thought we've just delivered them £300 worth of snacks. Mm-hmm. So we also have post this. So we've delivered that. Post this. We're also collecting old mobiles and tablets for their guests. Sorry, not for their guests, for their residents. And that will also give them a form of communication. Then we've got Linden Care Home in Epsom. The reason for that, they would put a shout out on Radio Jackie, so they were asking for soap. So we got their details, we contacted them, and one of the other volunteers is putting together a list of arts and craft and crosswords and puzzles. And you might think, why are we buying arts and craft and crossword puzzles for the elderly? And I'll tell you two very sad reasons why. Including actually one of our volunteers' husband's aunt that's just passed in the last few days of dementia. She didn't directly have the virus, but she lost the will to live because she wasn't allowed visitors. Oh. And that breaks my heart.
Absolutely awful because it's
so I told that volunteer, well, actually we're helping this care home. That's Linden Care Home, and if you want to contact this other care home, I'm quite happy to do the same thing. So people need to understand there's different aspects that we can help. I've also had one of my neighbours who I met on Friday, who's also donated to my cause, to say that she's a qualified counsellor. So hopefully we're going to set up some video free counselling with the elderly in the care home. So there's lots of different initiatives going on. And just the other important one is we're also sourcing homemade visors.
Yes.
And delivering that to small organisations or key workers that need it. That kind of sums up everything, but we're growing because
Bernadette, it sounds like
12 of us at the moment.
You're doing a fantastic job. I mean, what motivates you to do all this? I mean, obviously you have a very kind heart, but I'm guessing this isn't your sort of normal day job.
So my motivation, it's sad, really. So I will try and hold back the tears, but I lost my sister when Mary was 10 years old. And I went through a period of my life where I didn't have a purpose. Spent too much time partying in my younger years, and it was about 9 years later I got to the point of what am I doing for my life? And I saw that someone was raising money for this little girl. Obviously, that touched my heart. And I just picked up the phone and I randomly started calling different companies, and I managed to get so much sponsorship, it was ridiculous. That then the people involved also started doing the same. And basically, it's gone from there. Then I got involved with Crisis.
Yeah.
That's Crisis at Christmas. I've done 10 years volunteering with them. That's for the homeless. So we open up centres across London, and the homeless can come in. It's not just somewhere to get a free meal, but there's showers, there's dentists, doctors, podiatrists, IT, arts and craft. There's so many different services on site. And then I've just carried on doing various bits of volunteer work, and the stuff that I like to do is personal. It's one-to-one, because anyone can hand over money, and yes, I do that also, and I have my direct debits going out, but time is more valuable than anything. So if you can actually make someone feel like they matter, you could actually be their lifeline. And I know at times when someone has gone out of their way for me, I'm not used to it, because it's normally me giving it. So when I receive it, I'm like, oh, this is what it feels like. So Mary, my sister, she's my motivation, because when she passed the gift of her life into me, or part of that anyway. And she's the fire that burns in my heart every day. And I would never ever would have achieved half the things I did if it wasn't for her. So I'm grateful for her, and I know she guides me through this.
And you've got your purpose through her. That's beautiful.
Yes.
It really is beautiful, Bernadette.
And especially in times like this,
complete.
no one's situation is secure. Mine not either, but I know I will be okay, because I just know, and I need other people to realise that for all the small things that we can worry about and get stressed about, there's always someone worse off than ourselves. So I hope when people see this, that they realise, look, okay, I can give a little bit. And if they don't know how to get involved, they can make a donation or contact me, and I can give them some advice, because at the moment I can't do this on my own. So I'm looking also for more volunteers, and I'm grateful for the 12 volunteers that are currently helping. And we all have our small roles in the background, and I actually want this to be something that continues, not just for the virus.
Well, Bernadette, if people want to reach out to you, can we put your, I don't know, Facebook or whatever contact details you want me to put on this?
Yeah, sure.
At the bottom. I mean, I'm incredibly moved about about your story. What lessons do you think we can learn from this, or what lessons do you think we're going to learn from this?
Yeah,
in
that's
say 6 months, 6 months time, whoever knows when we're actually going to come out of this period.
That's a good question. It's something I've also thought about. Some of the key things are having the time for people. My life is quite hectic normally, for work reasons, and I'm trying to pack as much as possible. And some of the things that get neglected are meeting your neighbours.
Yeah.
That I really appreciate the value of that. It was so lovely. Also on Friday night, after we'd met, we went outside. I have a couple of video clips, and we sang "We'll Meet Again." It was really moving.
That's beautiful.
It was really touching, all at safe distance.
Well, I'm going to take your address after this, and I'll pop round.
Yeah,
safe distance.
do. But it's the sense of community and people coming together.
There is a real
We've unfortunately, the world has fallen into a place where people have become accepting of situations.
Completely.
Accepting that it's okay to trip over the homeless as you walk to the station and you walk along the street. Yes, some of those people have got there for reasons that, because of them, but you can't just leave them. Everyone needs a helping hand. So if anything, change and realization of the things that are important to us. At the moment, we have all these materialistic things, and we really can't do much with any of them.
And how ironic is that?
Exactly.
All the money in the world, and actually all that counts right now is a roof over your head, food, warmth, and community contact.
And health.
And health, absolutely, and health, yeah.
Because no one can buy health right now. So there's that aspect. Realise that your neighbours, your friends, your family. I mean, I speak to my friends and family anyway. So, but actually, I should say more. So I have a lot of friends abroad. So I do actually video call them now. So I make time for that. So that's also a good point to make. The being grateful for the beautiful surroundings that we live in, and I hope that people take more of a active role in helping the environment and their surroundings. You know, if everyone really, I have different recycling bags, for example. I have a recycling box through TerraCycle, so I'll give them a shout as well. Look them up, people, because they recycle many different things which cannot go in your normal recycling bins. And also I've got a zero waste box where all the things I can't recycle, like cellophane wrappers, for example, I can send them to them in this box that I've paid for, and they will make something out of it.
Amazing, yeah. Recycle.
Yes.
Cycle it for some good, yeah.
But and also I think change in work situations also. Everyone has different jobs, and you know there's quite an expectation that people have to work quite long hours, which they're not paid for, into the early hours. You know, let's have more of a balance.
A balance,
life.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And get rid of those horrible commutes on those crowded trains as well. People can work from home, or they can work within their local community.
Yes. You know, and if everyone had a little bit more balance, we would all feel a little bit more happier inside. So it would be really good to see what comes from this, from the large companies also and organisations that we're working for. In terms of their values, I'd like to see a shift. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Bernadette, it's been an absolute privilege talking to you. You've got an amazing heart. I can feel your kindness. And if everyone could take a little bit of your kindness and spread that, we'd be in an amazing world. Thank you so much. I just want to say namaste from my heart to your heart. Thank you. Thank you.